All right, room 14. This one was tricky. I'm not going to tell you a lie. But you know what? I thought to myself, what do I want my second graders to know? We can do hard things. Have we said that before? We sure have. And you know what? I thought, well, this is good for them because actually this type of problem will be in your future, and I wanted you to practice. Where did I get this? It's called multi-step word problems. And it's called that because you have to do some steps before you get the answer. So what did we say on my first video? Annie and Dustin took a beginning programming course over several weekends that showed them how to make simple video games. Okay, we've talked about if you can't read the names, don't worry about it. Call them A and D. These are strategies I've taught you. They took a beginner's programming course. Now, if I was a second grader, I might get stuck on that. What are they talking about? A beginner's programming course. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They just took a class. They took a fun little activity class. It's about computers, but don't get hung up on that. So A and D took a beginning class over several weekends. That was our first problem. What is several to you? Is it 3 or 4? I'm going to put it right down here. We're going to say that it was 3. Several weekends. But if you said 4, that's not wrong. Remember we talked about a reasonable answer? I'm going to choose 3. That showed them how to make simple video games. So just take a moment, make sure you understand this. These two people took a class over 3 weekends that showed them how to make video games. Do you understand that so far? They spent most of their waking hours engaged in programming tasks. Okay, so I'm a second grader. I go, what are they talking about here? It's okay if you didn't understand. What I do understand is they spent most of their waking hours engaged, that means doing these video activities. And they actually made a game. So this is my second problem, waking hours. What does that mean? And I did this in my other video, but what did we come up with? I forgot how many hours I said. I think it was 15, but I figured if I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, and you could do this same kind of math for however long you're up, because we can have different answers. So right here I go, so from 6 to 7, that's 1 hour, 8, 9, 10, 11, I should have crossed here, 12, and then the clock starts over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 16 hours. That's my waking hours, because here, between here, around overnight, up to here, I'd be asleep. So I'm going to say 16 hours. But if you want to, we could figure, maybe take out, what do you think, 2 hours for eating, making your bed, getting dressed, brushing your teeth. Let's take away 2 hours. So that leaves 14 hours in a day that they worked on this video game. Whew, that's a lot. And how many hours do you think they spent on the course? So if they spent 14 hours each day over 3 weekends, well, how many days are in a weekend? Saturday and Sunday. So if it's 2 days, 3 times, Saturday and Sunday, plus Saturday and Sunday, plus Saturday and Sunday. 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. How many days total is that? 6 days, 14 hours each time, each day. What is that? Can you do this? 14 hours, 14 hours, 14 hours, 14, 14, and 14. You see how I wrote it out? Maybe some mathematicians could do this in their head, but for Mrs. Betts and her second graders, we need to write it down. So this is 1 weekend. Here's another weekend, 2 14-hour days, and here's another weekend. That's 3 weekends. Can you think of a fast way to add this up? I can, and I know we've done this in Rule 14. Break this up to a 10 and a 4. 10 and a 4. 10 and a 4. Right? Haven't we done this? Can you add this quickly? You could line it up if you want to, but look how fast this would be. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60 plus, I've got to do all the 4s. 4 and 4 is 8. 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 8, 8, 8. What is that? Can you do it in your head? If you can't, don't try to do it in your head. If you don't feel confident, do it on a piece of paper. 8 and 8 is 16, plus this 8. I need 2 more to get this to 10. Put 2 with that, make it 10. That would make this 14. Because I moved 2 over here. What is this? 24. Bring those together. Can you add these up quickly? 6 and 2 is 8. 0 and 4 is 4. 84 what? Does that answer? How many hours do you think they spent on that course? And it says, show your work. This is my work, boys and girls. That's what it means. Okay, now your answer might be slightly different. If you estimated that they worked for 15 hours, or if you estimated that they worked for 4 weekends, what they're looking for here, what you would be graded on, if we were grading it, but we're not. We're just having fun. You want a reasonable answer. If you just did something real quick and let's say we forgot to add this up and you said 24 hours, the teacher might go, oh, that's too small. That's too small. That's not reasonable. I think they missed a part. If you said 840 hours, that's too big. So the key word here is a reasonable answer. Not too small, not too large, and the teacher would grade you on showing your work. If your number was a little different than mine, but you could show how you got it, then you're going to get a good score. I'd love to see your scores.